I'm here today in the abandoned mining town of Picher, Oklahoma, and behind me are the few remaining houses that are here, but nobody lives in them. All the windows are broken out, they are abandoned. If you don't know where Picher, Oklahoma is, it's in the northeast corner of Oklahoma, right by the Kansas-Oklahoma border. It is no longer a town. It was officially unincorporated on September 1, 2009. Here's a brief history of Picher, Oklahoma and what happened. In 1913, lead and zinc ore were discovered on Harry Crawfish's land and mining began. A new town site sprung up overnight, and by 1920, Picher had nearly 10,000 residents. Peak population in Picher was in 1926. Picher had over 14,000 residents. After 1926, there was a gradual decline in population due to a decrease in mining activity. The Picher area became the most producive lead-zinc mining, producing over $20 billion worth of ore between 1917 and 1947. Over 50% of the lead and zinc used in World War I came from the Picher mines. The contaminated water from the 14,000 mine shafts and the 70 million tons of mine tailings, also called chat piles, is the reason that the government decided to relocate all the remaining residents of Picher in 2006. The city was considered to be too toxic to be habitable due to all these chat piles and contaminated mine shafts. These chat piles had lead levels that were way too high, and a study showed that 34% of Picher's children had lead poisoning from this, because it would somehow leak into the city's water system and children would go play on these piles and in this stuff, and they had lead poisoning that was too high. Another study also showed that 86% of Picher's buildings were badly undermined and could cave in at any time, including the school. On May 10, 2008, an EF4 tornado came through Picher and took out 150 homes. Since the government was already doing a buyout and relocating all the residents, they decided not to come in and rebuild the homes. They just assisted in moving the people to other towns. So it actually helped speed up the process of moving the people out. Picher is among a small number of locations in the world that have been considered too toxic to be habitable. There are only a few other towns in the world that had to do this. They are working on cleaning up all of the remaining chat piles and environmental hazard stuff that's around here. It is funded by the Tar Creek Superfund site, which is a U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, but it will take a long time. 70 million tons is a lot, and they're working on hauling it away and getting rid of it safely, but it's just going to take a long time. They have made some headway, but there's still a long way to go, and so they are working on it, and someday it should be back to normal. A lot of the town of Picher, you drive through it now, it is all grown up. It's just in really rough shape, but nobody's living here. It's a contaminated, toxic site. That's why it's just a grown-up ghost town that used to be a thriving mining town. Hopefully you enjoyed this brief history of the mining town of Picher, Oklahoma. Leave a like, subscribe, follow along, come back next week, and I will see you then. Bye. Oh yeah, now it's not so windy, but just came down from up there. And yeah, it was great up there. Oh man, the view is awesome.